All right. Planet MicroCap continues with Jim Rakovich, CEO and President of McCoy Global.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. As Joe said, I'm President and CEO of McCoy Global. We're based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We're traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the symbol MCB. And I'll get right into it. So we're in the oil and gas industry, and our lot in life is our expertise is around providing technologies and equipment for people who run casing in wells. Our market is wherever they're drilling for oil, gas, or any hydrocarbon around the world, and every well, no matter whether it's land or offshore, they run casing, which is 40-foot steel pipes in various diameters in the length of the complete well, and it stays there for life. So what's really important is that job is done correctly. The wellbore integrity depends on it, and our expertise is not to run the casing, but our expertise is to develop and design technologies so our customers can do that. We've been around the business for over 50 years in this industry. We sell to we'll show you in a few slides, sell to some blue chip customers around the world. We do have a pristine balance sheet, just about $16 million in cash at the end of last year, and we haven't had debt for a while. And so our trailing 12 months adjusted EBITDA was $13.1 million on a year-over-year growth of 54%. Minimal maintenance CapEx required. We do produce products and assemble, test, ship our technologies around the world, but our maintenance capital is very light. And we have a lot of potential for upside coming up, and I'll talk about that in some of the next slides. Our industry has not changed a heck of a lot in the last 50 years. They've been using very similar technologies, very labor intensive. And that is where the issues with our customers have come to us, and where we've decided that it's going to be our objective to solve the problem of attracting, training, and retaining skilled people to do the job of running casing. And the way we're going to do it is, first of all, eliminate 2/3 of that headcount to do that job through automation and technology. So this is what the tubular running services business looks like today. You've got the rig, the E&P company or the national oil company, whether it's Exxon, ConocoPhillips, or Aramco or ADNOC, they own the well. And what they do is, once they decide they're going to drill a well, they do all of the upfront engineering, and then they hire a drilling contractor and say they take bids. The drilling contractor gets the job to drill the well, and the E&P company or the national oil company also hires a service company to run all the casing in the well. And that's where we come in. We don't run the casing. Whichever of the service companies manages to get the contract to do that job, then it's those folks that will quote for the equipment and technologies to be able to do that job successfully and efficiently. And right now, today, as we speak, if you go to West Texas today, I can tell you that what it shows on the slide with those anywhere from 6 to 8 people are required. They're doing that job right now, running casing in wells, and 3 of them are in the red, what we call the red zone of the rig, which is the dangerous area where there's a lot of moving equipment and pipe being moved around, and that's where most of the injuries and accidents happen, and everything from accidents, injuries to compensation, workers' compensation claims on back injuries and that kind of stuff. We're going to eliminate those folks. We've already started doing that. So we're a global leader in our particular area of expertise. We do sell all over the world. The slide shows that on an average, we're probably 50-50. 50% of our revenue will be generated out of the Eastern Hemisphere and 50% out of the Western Hemisphere. We ship product to 50 countries a year on the average. What's really interesting about this slide is historically, we'd been shipping, our revenue was generated 60% internationally, Eastern Hemisphere, predominantly in the MENA region, Middle East, North Africa. And last year that changed. Last year, we went to 60% in North America, or in the Western Hemisphere, but predominantly in the United States. It's counterintuitive because if you follow anything with the oil and gas industry in the U.S., rig counts were actually down substantially last year, active rig counts. And we bucked the trend and our revenue grew substantially. And it was all because of technology. We introduced one of our new pieces of technology in Q4 of 2022, doing demos to our customers and showing them the value, and that they could take people out of the red zone and add more efficiency. They convinced the E&P companies to adopt that technology, and so since then we've had tremendous success with that product, and that it shows that even in a market that's in decline on rig counts and activity, we were able to increase our revenue, all because we were helping customers solve problems with technology. If you look at our customer base around the world, we're selling to everything from small private companies in North America to national service providers around the world, and national, even to some extent, national oil companies like Turkish Petroleum in Turkey. So we have a broad base, and what's really important in our business is to get that installed base. Somebody's banging. Anyway, the installed base of equipment, Middle East is a good example. If you go into Saudi, 70% of the casing running equipment in Saudi is McCoy product, and the aftermarket impact on that is significant. If you look at any of our quarterly results, we don't segment particularly our revenue by specific segments, but I can tell you that 40% of our revenue in any quarter is going to be aftermarket, and that's really our recurring revenue stream. So aftermarket is replacement parts, consumables, and service, and that is very consistent. In fact, when there's a downturn in our industry, the aftermarket tends to grow because rather than buy new capital equipment, customers will tend to repair and continue to use equipment instead of replacing it. So we have what makes us different. We do have competitors in all of our product lines, and this slide shows that one of the biggest differentiators with McCoy is we have a full suite of products. And that becomes pretty important, particularly for specific customers who want to get a package for a job. I'll give you a specific example. 2 years ago, when Turkish Petroleum decided to run casing themselves, Turkish Petroleum is a government national oil company, and they decided rather than using the multinational service company, a name you'd all be aware of, they decided they wanted to provide this service themselves on their own rigs, on their deep water offshore rigs. So they came to McCoy. Why? Because they could go and do 5 different transactions to put a package together themselves, or come to McCoy, and we could put a full suite of all of the individual products together. And not only that, but we'll do a complete survey of their rig. We'll integrate our technology with their rig package, and also including the software. So we have a tremendous amount of application experience. We have a large engineering team, and there's just a lot of trust between the customers and McCoy in what we're capable of doing from a technology perspective. Financial highlights, as you can see, since COVID, our revenue and adjusted EBITDA has increased, and we've begun a good run here. You know, the oil and gas industry really goes in cycles, and the last big 20-year cycle ended at the end of 2014. There was a long 20-year run. Everybody did really well, including us, and then the price of oil started to decline, and the industry from 2015 to 2019 was in decline and definitely in the lower part of the cycle. And then in 2020, 2021, of course, COVID had a significant impact. Oil even went into negative territory. In spite of all of that, one of the important things I think to mention is that we were able to remain cash flow positive through all of that mess and come out of it and start to now really take advantage of where the market is today. But more importantly, during that downturn, we didn't just hope that the market comes back. We spent the last 6 years developing what we call our technology roadmap, and that's these new technologies that are now just becoming commercial, and our most important one soon to be commercial. And rather than do that, keep running, our core business kept us going, kept us bringing cash in, and we were able to spend time developing our new technologies. And we generate cash every quarter. Our product and service offering, this gives you a really good example of, not specific, but if you look at the circles, you can figure out where our revenue comes from. There was a time when the hydraulic power tongs, which is the equipment that we produce and design and sell around the world, that is a legacy piece of technology. Like I said, this casing running business has been done the same way for 50 years. The hydraulic power tong is one of those technologies that's been around for 50 years. And so it's competitive. We do have really good competitors in that product line. And the sales, the overall market size has been shrinking for 10 years, and the last 5 years being the most dramatic. But fortunately, we also had developed and or acquired technologies, the technologies that are taking the place of that, and the margins are better, less competitive, and much more technical. So we've been taking advantage of that. So we've really grown our revenue stream out of newer technologies, data acquisition. We have been in the data acquisition business for a long time. When you're running casing, they're making up these threaded connections. They have to be able to, at the end of the job, present the E&P company with a full data report on all of the data on every connection that was made. Think of this: if you're in 10,000 feet of water and you're putting the casing in a well that's 8,000 feet long, and that's supposed to be in that reservoir producing oil for the next 25 years. Every connection better be done right. The integrity of that well and not leaking, etc., is really critical. So when it comes to running casing, it sounds easy. You screw a bunch of pipes together and put them in the ground. It is, but it's technical, and it needs to be done right, and the integrity of the well relies on it. And as you can see, the margins and on our aftermarket are very strong as well. So our highest margin categories are data acquisition and our aftermarket. So, as we're moving forward with our new technologies and soon to introduce some really critical automated technologies into the marketplace, if you look at our multiple that we're generating today on the Toronto Stock Exchange, it's just under 3 times adjusted EBITDA, which barely, in fact, hardly values our legacy business, never mind all of the capital we've deployed to develop these new technologies. And the prize is yet to show up. And the market's giving us 0 for that 6 years of investment that we've deployed. And really, that's the opportunity. And anyway, so tubular running services, it's really ideally positioned for change. Then everybody's looking for technology now, and safety, and wellbore integrity, and efficiency, and really to reduce the number of people that are involved being on that rig floor or near that rig to be able to perform these services. That's the way the world's going. The drilling contractors, the large ones, the most advanced ones, are automating their drilling rigs, taking people off those rig floors. This is one area that this has not been done on the land market anywhere in the world effectively. So we've taken that on as our job. So it's a step change. If you look at how things were done in conventional tubular running service, you sent them a hydraulic power tong, a computer, and some manual slips, and they brought on 6 to 8 guys, and they run the casing job. Using our smart technologies, you start to remove the need for expertise. So we're already there. So our software now is we collect the data. We've got machine learning going through our software. We've got algorithms developed. I won't say we got AI yet, but we don't like to use that term loosely until we're there. And then the future is be down by 2/3. Get rid of 2/3 of the people, and those 2 guys are not near any risky area. They're running, one guy's running a computer screen and the other guy's running a console panel. So barriers to entry, why isn't everybody else, our competitors, doing this? Well, it's, first of all, you have to have all of those pieces like I described. There's a lot of different components. We're the ones that have all of the different parts and pieces of the technologies to be able to put this together. We acquired a company in Austin, Texas called 3PS in 2017. This was all part of that roadmap plan. And 3PS, their expertise, why did we buy them? Their expertise was collecting data in harsh environments. 3PS serves military, nuclear, construction, and aviation, and other business industries, but they did some in oil and gas. But what were we after? If we're going to automate this process of running casing, we didn't have the expertise to have the sensors, the strain gauges, and the software ability to be able to collect this data. Remember, we're on rigs. We're in the desert at 50 degrees Celsius. We're in Alaska at minus 40 Celsius. And we're in offshore rigs where there's salt water and a lot of corrosion and things like that. And our ability to be able to still collect data because of their expertise in that environment consistently, wirelessly, and very accurately, and have that sent to our software in the driller's cabin is pretty important. And then we acquired another company in 2019. They had a casing running tool, which was a very difficult product to try to design, because there was 2 companies, Drawworks and another company, that had already got a tremendous amount of IP. So we were fortunate to be able to acquire one of them. And then we developed, through that time, we had developed what we call the virtual thread rep. And that was the ability of that individual who is doing the torque and turn monitoring of the job, rather than be at every rig. They can now do that remotely. So one person can sit in an office in Houston and run the torque turn monitoring, which is all that data, all from one place. You can run 5 jobs at a time. And to where we are today, so the future is our smart package, our complete integrated package to be able to run the string of casing. We're working on field trials now, and we expect that, assuming that all goes successfully, all of the products have been developed, complete successful field trials in 2025. That's when commercialization will take place. And so I know I only have a few minutes left, and I guess I'll end on this slide. Again, I'll repeat, we're trading at probably under 3 times adjusted EBITDA, and we've got a very attractive balance sheet, no debt, generating cash, and we've got a great future coming with our new integrated technology package. Questions? Yes, sir. So the question is, if I could elaborate on the new technology package and what it is and what's the benefits. So right now you have all these individual tools and guys on the floor pulling these manual slips so that the casing string doesn't fall. So what the one technology we've already introduced is called the flush mount spider. That sits in the sits on the rig floor. It goes inside the rotary, and that's operated remotely. It's hydraulic, so a person has a belly pack. He now is away from that rig floor. Those slips open and close, so you don't need those two guys anymore in that risky area. The integrated package will take that. We are sensoring that tool, so you don't even need the guy with the belly pack anymore. We've already censored our casing running tool, so we have what we call the smart CRT. That's already proven successful in the field, and that talks to the flush mount spider. All of our software does all the torque turn analysis. That's all integrated into the same software package. And so what happens is all of those functions, then we develop these, what we call dynamic bales for delivering the pipe to the casing running tool automatically. Everything's now in the integrated package that you're asking about. That is putting all of those individual components that we've developed together and all connected. And they're all connected. And so we have all of that will be managed by one screen. The only guy that'll need to do anything is a driller. He just follows instructions on our screen inside the driller's cabin, and he'll just press buttons as he's told what to do next. And that's the full integrated package. 1 minute left. Well, if there's no further questions, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.